Hi, I'm Lisa, and this is my mom, Vicki.
Hello.
And she's visiting here from Wisconsin, and in this video, we are going to show you how to make a Danish Kringle. So these are really popular in Wisconsin, and before my mom came, they were driving here, and I called her and I said, can you pick up a Kringle? Because I really love those and it'd be great to have for Christmas. And my mom was like, well, why don't we just make one? So we made it. I put a picture up on Facebook of it and lots of people wanted the recipe. Now I usually do really healthy videos that are aligned with the Mediterranean diet. This is definitely not that. This is definitely a once in a while special treat. We did it for Christmas. This was our Christmas Kringle. So those of you who follow me and follow me for the Mediterranean diet, please know that this would not be a Mediterranean diet aligned recipe, but it's really, really good. And I think it is a great thing to have a special treat, especially on holidays. So let's get into the video. So the first thing that we need to do is I need to take 8 tablespoons of butter. So that's 1 stick. And I'm going to just cut it into pats. Once you've got your butter into your pats of butter, you're just going to drop them into the bowl. Then I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So that's going right into the bowl as well. Yep. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 cup of water. Yep. So once you've got all of those, this is going to be the base of the Kringle. So you're just gonna get in here and mix it. You can do this with a utensil or you can do it with your hands. You just wanna cut that butter into the flour, kind of like when you're making biscuits.
It's not mixed good enough.
Because there's still too many butter clumps. Okay,
Mix it
so
over.
I ended up getting in there with my hands because the fork was taking too long.
So then you're gonna make it into an oval.
So this is going to be our Kringle shape.
And so what works for me is dividing it in half, and each half was half of the
Okay, that makes sense.
Kringle. If you get it more even.
Do you want to do that one?
Sure.
So I'm assuming we're going to make these into like long tubes next, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can do it however works, but
You got to go back to the times of when you made Play-Doh and you made those long Play-Doh snakes.
actually, you know what I think I did is I did it in 4 pieces,
Okay.
and then just,
That makes sense. When we first did this, we thought that this was going to be way too small, but then it really does puff up.
And I'm just bringing us a little water so we can maybe wet our fingers, and yeah, that works. And then you just want to press it into a shape.
You've definitely got a better technique for this than I do. We made pizza last night, and if you've seen our grilled pizza video, that's exactly what we did. And I definitely have that technique down very well to make pizza crusts. This is just a little bit different of a dough. I'm sure the next time I did this, I'd be better with it, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We can just go ahead and call it rustic. So it might seem to you like this is really small, but it'll be totally fine.
This is just layer 1. And if you were going to put like a apple filling or almond paste filling on your Kringle, you would put it right now between, this is the base layer, and then there's another layer that we're going to put on top. And what is that called?
It's the pastry, and it's called Pate Choux. But we're Italian, so we've been saying it like Pate Choux. But yeah, so that's the base, and the next thing we're going to make is the Pate Choux to go on top of it. So this is the first layer of our Kringle, and this would be called the base layer. And now we're going to make the second layer, which is the pate choux or the pastry. And then we are going to do the topping and the glaze. Okay, so to make the pate choux portion of this, we are going to turn on the burner, get it on like medium heat, put the butter in. So this is a stick of butter or 8 tablespoons. Okay, and then I've got a cup of flour that I'm gonna put in there. And I've got a cup of water. This is essentially the same ingredients that we did the base with. The only difference here is that we're using more water to do the pastry.
And then you just need to stir it until it's heated through.
And so you just have to continuously stir this so that it doesn't burn. And what you want to do is you want to stir this until it forms a ball. So as you're stirring this pretty vigorously, what you're going to notice is the batter is going to start feeling heavier. And that's when you know that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And we have found that this pastry is actually very forgiving. When we made it the first time, my mom was like, oh, I messed it up, but she did not mess it up. So see, it's just getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah, I think you're getting there. There you go.
So this has definitely changed shape. It is no longer super liquidy, and it is definitely forming the type of pastry that we want to be the pate choux or Kringle. Okay, so now we are going to take our pastry, and I'm transferring it over to the bowl of my KitchenAid mixer. So we're gonna add in a half a teaspoon of vanilla.
But you can use whatever flavoring you like.
Then I've got 3 of my farm fresh eggs here, and we're gonna add them in one at a time.
Okay, so we have the pastry dough in the KitchenAid, and we're gonna add 3 eggs individually and mix them really well. That's 2. And you can really tell when the egg is mixed because the consistency changes. Okay, and so now we're going to pour this over. I'm doing this. So now we're gonna pour this over the base.
Okay, so this part, to put the pate choux, I like that word, the pate choux or the pastry over the base, you are going to take it and you can put it in a pastry bag and pipe it out really carefully, or you can just spoon it right on top.
And you want to keep it inside of this as much as possible.
So you want to try to keep it toward the middle.
Yeah.
Now the first time we did this, I wasn't too sure about this, but if you've ever had an eclair or a cream puff, this is the type of pastry that makes those things. So we'll show you what it looks like on the inside when we get this done.
They're all on there. I'll put some more down there.
Handy, just in case you need it. You did a good job pouring this around it.
Isn't that pretty?
It is pretty. I was just thinking that. Pretty little ribbons of delicious pate choux. You have to make sure if you make this that you say pate choux like 87 times.
Pate choux.
Pate choux. Somebody from France is going to be in the comments like, that is not how you say it. All right, I think that looks great. Okay, now this is going to go in a 350-degree oven, and we are going to check on it after 45 minutes. Okay, now it has been about 50 minutes, so we're going to pull the Kringle out of the oven, and it is this beautiful golden brown color, and it smells amazing. It needs to cool completely before we put any of the toppings on it. So I'm gonna set it over here so it got plenty of time to cool. Okay, so now we're making the glaze for the top of the Kringle, and in this little bowl, I've got about 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar and about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm going to add some, this is raw cow's milk. So I'm going to add just a little bit.
And that's it. There you go.
And then we're going to stir it.
Yep. You just want to get a real runny glaze.
This is a glaze, not a frosting, so it's going to be really light. I think a whisk would work better.
Yeah. You know, you gave me a little whisk that has an egg on it, on the top of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of all the traveling we've ever done.
Do I have that still? I thought I still had that. I don't know, maybe it broke.
I always take it with me.
Okay, so we ended up adding another couple tablespoons of powdered sugar in here. So this is about 5 tablespoons of powdered sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and probably about a tablespoon of the raw milk. But this is kind of what you want it to look like. This is just going to be a glaze for the top to add some sweetness. I've got these sweet and salty nuts that I roasted the other day. This is just a nut mixture of pecans, cashews, and macadamia nuts. And I put some maple syrup on it, and I added some spice and a little bit of salt. So I'm just gonna chop this up, and this is gonna be another part of our topping for the Kringle. So now the Kringle is nice and cooled off, and so we can build it the rest of the way. Now this is the point where you can get very creative and have all kinds of fun with it. On the last one, we used this mascarpone cheese. It gives it a really, really nice depth of flavor. So if you've ever had tiramisu, this is what they use in tiramisu. You could use cream cheese as well if you want to do a cheese Kringle.
Or jelly, or, you know, chopped apples, whatever.
So we're just gonna spread this on here.
When we were making this the other night and you said, use the whole thing, I thought, oh, that's way overkill. But nope, it's not.
Nope, it's not. We use the whole thing. As we said at the beginning of this video, this is a once in a while treat. Definitely not an everyday treat, because this is very, very decadent. But this would be really good for taking to a brunch or party. So as I was saying, mascarpone cheese it's a nice substitution for cream cheese. It just gives a different depth of flavor, and it makes it really decadent and really, really good. Okay, so now that we've got the mascarpone on, the next thing I'm gonna do is layer these chopped nuts just all over the top. This is just so pretty too. But you could do this with anything you wanted to. As my mom was saying, you could add fruit, you could add jam. I think it'd be really good to make one of these with like a lemon.
Oh yeah, like lemon curd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's, next time I make a Kringle, I'm gonna make a lemon Kringle. Like a lemon raspberry Kringle sounds really good to me. That'd be a good summer
That's good.
one.
That's good.
Okay?
Okay.
So there isn't any sugar in this other than what we are putting on the top with the glaze. And then I used maple syrup when I roasted the nuts. So there's some with that, but this is not a super high sugary dessert. I'm gonna cut into this Kringle because you can see the really beautiful layers. So now it's time to try it. So we're gonna try it.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go all in with this big bite. Cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious, you gotta make this.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Hold on, I gotta start again. Okay, stop hugging Charlie for a minute.
Okay. All right, let's do it again. Can I do this? No.
Sure.
I won't.
Okay. You can do, this is your first time on camera, Mom. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.